so excited to introduce this episode's guest, which is Jenn Hogg, a five-time U.S. National Aerobic Gymnastics champion, master trainer, and director of group fitness at the storied East Bank Club in Chicago, to unpack what it really takes to build a thriving group fitness program. We cover everything from aligning instructors with your club's brand identity to designing smarter class schedules and delivering evaluations that actually inspire your team. Jenn shares why she believes group fitness is the secret sauce of a club and what many operators get wrong when integrating it into their brand. Whether you're running a boutique studio or managing a large-scale facility, Jenn offers clear, actionable insights to help your group fitness program not only grow, but thrive. Let's get into it. I really appreciate you making time for me today.
Yeah, of course. This is exciting. Tell me all about it.
Well, first off, I just want to thank you for being a Club Solutions Institute faculty member, and thank you for the course you did, because I learned so much about group
Really?
fitness that I didn't know, group fitness
Oh my
management in
God.
particular. So
This
just
makes me so happy.
thanks for taking the time to do that and share your industry knowledge, because I think it's going to empower a lot of group fitness managers and club operators.
I hope so. I mean, I've been doing this for longer than I like to admit, but you know, the group fitness lane presents some really individual challenges because we don't generally get a line item on the P&L. We're a sunk cost, it's just payroll, but everybody knows Group X is what sells memberships. So you're kind of doing this dance and you have to make the members happy and they're super passionate about their instructors and their classes, but most of your staff is just fly by night. Like they swoop in, they swoop out, they wear a whole bunch of hats. And so it's like wrangling kittens all the time.
Yeah.
It can be really stressful, but you need really strong leadership in that role. So if there's any way I can help people, I mean, I hope it does some good because I know how hard it can be at times.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will. Well, my first question was in the video in your course, you talk about how group fitness is the secret sauce of a club. Just
Sure.
explain why that is.
Yeah, well, kind of what I was just saying. Even though we can't prove that we make money, we know that Group X, of all the other things that are offered in a club, is what creates community. And that's what keeps people in the facilities. I mean, I talk about it like the three R's. It's the gift that keeps on giving. When people are enjoying their workouts, like they move differently in the world, like they actually enjoy exercise, which when I'm doing educational stuff, I make jokes with the other leaders like, hey, did you know we're the freaks in the room? We're the ones who actually enjoy working out. Most people, they just hear the word work in workout and they dread it. It's like something on their to-do list, something that a doctor told them they have to. Group X can change that mindset. It's like, oh, my friends are in there. The music is good. Like, I actually enjoy stretching, even though I'm the most inflexible person in the world. So we create this really safe space. And then all of a sudden, people start getting healthier. They get more fit. That changes their confidence level. They stand up straighter. And I mean, I tell people all the time the quickest way to lose 5 pounds is to stand up straight. I mean, your posture will change everything. And then those kind of things happen. And then friends kind of notice, like, oh, you look great. You've got really good energy. What are you doing? Oh, I'm taking this class over at East Bank Club, blah, 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 blah. Then the results that they're getting through group fitness drives referrals. And that's the second R. And then we know community is like the magic bullet. So then you've got results, you get referrals, and now you have retention because everybody's working out together and they're actually enjoying it. That's why Group X can sell memberships, it maintains memberships, it builds club facilities. And the stickier you can get, this is kind of like my MBA brain talking, the stickier you can make a member, the more money you're going to get out of them. If it starts with Group X, then they start realizing how strong they can get. They might be willing to do a few sessions with a personal trainer to learn the foundational moves. And, you know, with people like Atia and Huberman and Stacy Sims talking about heavy strength training, they might get the confidence in the Group X studio, but then they're actually going to start working with a personal trainer. Then they might actually talk to a dietitian. They're spending more time in the club, which means they might hit up the juice bar. And I think you can create stickier members when you get them to fall in love with group exercise.
Yeah. No, I really relate to a lot of what you're saying because I am not the typical fitness professional that, just loves working out. And the
Yeah.
one thing that got me really into fitness consistently was a group fitness class. And it was
Yeah.
reformer Pilates to be specific. And
Yeah.
ever since I got into that, I've been expanding into other areas. And now I do the strength training on my own and I do functional workouts. But I learned a lot of the basic kind of methodologies and movements and what muscle groups I needed to be focusing on
Yep.
through that class.
100%.
Well, knowing how powerful group fitness is, what are some common mistakes you see clubs making when it comes to group fitness that is not allowing them to fully take advantage of its amazing potential?
Oh my God, I could talk about this for probably an hour, but I'll try to pick my like top three. I think where a lot of clubs make a mistake is the architecture of their schedule, and they tend to lean into the complaints from the members. At the end of the day, everybody wants concierge fitness. And I mean, bar and Pilates are have still having a moment. Like it's a big moment. It's lasting for a while. And people are on schedules and they have those pockets of their day when it works for them to go to the gym and they want to do what they love. So they just want to take bar every day at 10 a.m. Taking bar every day at 10 a.m. is not good for you. And
Yeah.
so I tell Group X managers, you need to take a look at your schedule and program like a personal trainer. Don't give people the opportunity to take the same class at the same time every day. You're going to cannibalize the room overall because you're giving them too many options. Oh, I can't make it Monday, so I'll go Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday is come and gone. I'll go on Wednesday now. Make them do some strength training on Monday, give them the bar class that they want on Tuesday, then make them do some cardio on Wednesday. So really try to balance your schedule in those pockets, like the early morning prime time, the morning prime time, the lunchtime prime time, and the evening prime time, making people create variety in their workouts. It's going to build the numbers in the room. When you only give people 3 chances to take dance classes at night, all 3 of those dance classes are going to be packed instead of having 5 dance classes that are mediocre. And where that really comes into play as well is with the sales team. When they're touring a club, there is nothing worse than walking by a Group X studio and there's only 6 people in there.
Yeah.
Because then this potential member is like, oh, their Group X must not be very good. There's only 6 people in the room. Where when your sales team tours a club and it is sold out with a wait list, these potential members are like, this must be the place to work out. Look at the energy in that room. So, how you put your schedule together really does matter. And you do want to think more like a business person. You've got to look at your club check-ins. When are the most people coming in the room? That's where you should be allocating your budget. That's where you want to make sure you've got different offerings in all the studios. Then you do have to be really careful of your diva instructors. And we all love a good diva instructor, but they can be really toxic for the organization. You cannot let them get away with murder just because they're selling out the room, because all of the other staff sees that. Like you have to make sure you communicate really clearly what the expectation and what the ask is from every single instructor, and then hold everybody accountable in a fair and equitable way. Like I tell people all the time, this is not personal. This is not a judgment on your character. This is policy. It's business. Like,
Yeah.
so don't do it again. But I mean, this is not an assassination on your character. Not at all. It's just a policy situation. So make sure the ask is clear, the expectation is clear, and then hold everybody uniquely accountable. Because if you make an exception for anyone, you have to make an exception for everyone. Then last but not least, I think as a manager, you have to make it very clear that you will defend your staff at all costs. Like we do not allow members to speak inappropriately in an abusive manner to the team. Like the instructors are your talent. They're there to deliver a wow experience in the studio. They shouldn't have to deal with like the nitty gritty and the gossip from the members, which we all know that there is. That's your role as the manager, to be like the bouncer. You're the muscle in between the instructor doing what they were hired to do and the members who sometimes are just having a bad day.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, you've talked a lot about culture and then community, and you
Mhm.
have like a distinction between those two. Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
To drill it down in what I think is the simplest way to define it is community is what happens in the studio. And it can happen a little bit outside the studio when you're mirroring outside the welcome music that you have. And then, the members kind of take it outside. They're like, where are we going for coffee now? Like, are we going to go get our nails done? Like, what are we going to do? But culture really speaks to the business. and making sure that your instructors, while they might be teaching at a whole bunch of gyms, because most instructors do sweat for their dollars at multiple locations, they need to understand what hat they're wearing when they're teaching for you. And you need to make sure that culture is so clear. These are our core values. This is what East Bank Club stands for. This is the way we need you to align. Because when we are aligned on our culture, the message to the members is unified. And so really the culture is more about the organization, and the community is about, what's happening in the studios.
Got it. And then obviously talent acquisition and having the right teammates is going to be a huge part of that. So tell me a little bit about how you approach talent acquisition. And then I think you said you're not really a big fan of auditions, right?
No, I just don't think, I mean, even the most seasoned professional who's been teaching for 30 years can't show their best stuff in a 10-minute group audition. It just doesn't happen. So I really love secret shopping. And I think this is good for managers in general. It should be part of your schedule. Run around your community, go take classes at the boutique, just see what's out there, because you need to stay current. You need to be relevant. You need to know what's happening in your footprint. And then you're also going to find some great talent in the process. You're going to get to see them in their element. You're going to see the way they welcome people into the room. You're going to see kind of the attitude that they have. Because, like I said, you might be hearing great things about over at Studio 3. And then you show up and you're like, wow, that person was cold. They were not welcoming. They've got a killer body and they know it. But that was not inspiring or motivating to me at all. But if you were to look at that person's social media, you would think they were God's gift to group exercise. So, get out in the community, see for yourself what's going on. And then if you have done a great job recruiting in the past, get referrals from your team, because they are also teaching in other studios. And you can't take that many classes every single week or every single month. So if an instructor comes to you and says, hey, I've got somebody you should take a look at, either make time in your calendar or invite that. And this is, I have this luxury being the director. I will say, hey, can you invite her to come take your class, or him to come take your class? And then I just go in and I take the class because I'm already here.
Gotcha.
And I just watch the way that they move. I watch the way that they interact. So you can be strategic with your time and your schedule. You just got to work smart and you got to be savvy about it.
Yeah. What specific traits are you evaluating that indicates someone might be a really good instructor?
Actually, I evaluate two big things: warmth and competency. And warmth for me is the most important thing. And it took me a while. I was an athlete my whole life. So being fearful, I mean, I was a gymnast, so we're slightly crazy, but I was like, somebody's afraid to do a lateral lunge. Like, I used to do double backflips. Like, why is a lateral lunge so scary? And I did not really realize how paralyzing fear is, and how the idea of failing in front of a group of people can keep people from coming in the room. So when an instructor has a lot of warmth and is really welcoming and makes everybody feel safe, and immediately, because of their disposition, earns people's trust, I think that goes leaps and bounds to getting people in the room and keeping people in the room and helping people lessen that anxiety over the idea of a group workout. And then obviously competency. They have to be really smart about their programming. They've got to make sure that they're moving in all planes of motion, that they can demo the exercises really well, that they are able to give quick regressions or even progressions, and just being able to read the room, like watching what's going on in the room and being like, wow, I know this was a great set, but everybody in the room is having trouble with this. So we're just going to pause, like we're going to pivot, and you got to be able to do it seamlessly. So yeah, warmth and competence are my two biggies.
All right. And then once someone's in the door, what are some onboarding tips and strategies that you found are really successful?
You know what? It took me a while to get to this place, but I love a slow ramp up. I like to give my instructors, when possible, I mean, every once in a while we have an immediate need and I've just got to hire somebody and get them in the room. But I have published a playbook for my entire organization that has sample workouts for every single one of our classes. And once they're through the onboarding, the drug testing, the background check, all the things, they are given this Bible of this is all of our programming. So if you were coming into emergency sub and you've only got an hour to get ready, don't program your own workout. Just grab the one that's in the manual. Like, make sure that you're comfortable with it. You can put it right up there on the stage with you, do the things. But I like to give them the first 30 days to take classes with other instructors within the pillars that they're going to be teaching. And I pay them for it, which I also realize not everybody, and I don't pay them at their class rate. I pay them at what's called a meeting rate. So it's an hourly rate, but they get paid almost 20 bucks just to do a workout. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad deal. And I said, take the classes that you most likely will be covering. You'll be subbing the ones that you eventually want to teach and maybe add to your roster. And then try to take them at a couple of different times a day so that you can figure out, oh, I definitely feel good with the 9 a.m. ladies, or the lunchtime crowd seems to be my people, because as the manager, I need to set them up for success. So if they know they feel really comfortable with evening prime times, I need to look for pockets to put them in there. They know where their people are. They've been in the weeds with their people. They know what's a good fit. And when I've got a staff of 64 people, I'm not going to know all of my instructors intimately well, especially the ones that have just been hired. So I have to trust what they tell me. Like, the lunchtime crowd feels really good to me. Okay, I'm going to take that at face value. So it's all about an open dialogue and communication and giving them some space to get familiar with the club. I mean, I've been doing this for 35 years, so I can jump in with 5 minutes and teach just about anything, but that takes time. And you don't want anyone, especially a new hire, to have that kind of anxiety. So I don't put any pressure on my new hires. I'm like, you've got 30 days to figure it out. Then we're going to have another meeting and we're going to talk about like where you think a good fit is.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And I know sometimes there can be a weird dynamic between like new instructors and veteran or star instructor. How do you kind of manage that?
You know what? I don't tolerate it because the diva instructors, most of them have been in an organization for a while, and I will have a really hard conversation with them. Like, you need to check your attitude. We're not scaring people out of the way. This person has not been hired to steal your job. We've got a big schedule that needs to be supported. And so, again, it's just about managing the ego. I'm really lucky though. Chicago, I mean, we're known for kind of like our Midwest, gritty, friendly, neighborly attitude. And I have a lot of instructors who embody that. And I also have a significant number of instructors that are over 40 years old. So they've been to the rodeo for a while. They've got the battle scars to show for it. They understand how hard it can be coming into an organization, especially a club like East Bank Club that is a luxury brand. We've got founding members who have been here since the doors opened. That's a group of people that don't like change. They tend not to be lovely to subs. So most of my seasoned instructors are super welcoming. Perfect example. When our new onboarding staff is in the room, my senior instructors, if they see a new hire in the room, they will take a moment to introduce the new hire to everybody in the room and be like, hey, have you guys met Layla? She's a new instructor. She's going to be teaching classes like this in the future. Make sure you say hi. She's incredible. Just kind of like that badge of this person deserves to be here. They are qualified. They are great. When an instructor that is already trusted says this person is great, the members are more likely to buy in. So we tend to be like super supportive around here, but my staff also knows if you cut somebody, you're going to have to talk to me. So we just don't tolerate that kind of behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, what I'm hearing is you're really setting the tone and vision for the culture of how you want things to be done. And I know it seems
Yeah,
kind of common sense, but I mean, in leadership, it can kind of get away from you if you're not intentional about it, right?
100%.
Yeah, I have
And
found that personally.
I'm also really lucky. I mean, East Bank is 400,000 square feet, so it is a massive club, but I just have my one schedule. Like, I know other directors in Chicago that are like regional directors that are overseeing 4 clubs, 7 clubs, 13 clubs. If you're a regional director for 13 clubs, you've got to make sure that you have incredible managers and you need to manage them because then they are managing down. And that's a situation where I feel like the corporate culture is super important and also a very unique challenge, like making sure that every single spoke in the wheel is aligned and connected. Because if it's not, the bike is going to drive sideways.
Yeah. How do you approach evaluations in a way that doesn't alienate instructors?
I show them everybody when they get hired, they see what the evaluation form is. I publish it. It's got 4 different buckets so that they know what they're being evaluated on long before it would ever happen. They know the things that I'm looking for. I give them an opportunity to ask questions like, do you understand what you're going to be evaluated on? So I'm just super transparent.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of secret shopping because when I show up in the room, people tend to panic. They're like, why is she here? Like, I must be being evaluated at this time.
It's like the
So I will,
principal of a
yeah,
school.
I know. And it's like, no, I just like working out. I just really want to get a workout in today. I also pre-screen. I will tell people like, hey, I really need a bar class today. I'm coming to your class. You're not being evaluated. Don't worry about it. And then obviously I take notes while I'm in there. You're always kind of evaluating.
Yeah.
And then out of fairness, I will ask somebody else in the organization to secret shop the class because non-fitness people, they notice the most interesting things that can really fill somebody's cup up, whether it was like the jokes that they told or how welcoming they were. Like the warmth stuff tends to come up in the secret shopping situation where I'm generally more in the competency brain when I'm evaluating. And so then I mirror them together. I also, whenever possible, I pass along feedback throughout the year. Like when members come and say something, I always pass it along. We don't have any blackout hours at East Bank Club. So a lot of staff is taking classes with instructors. They are usually really good about giving the feedback right in the moment or sending an email, or they come to me. So there is ongoing dialogue. So most of my instructors, if I'm like, hey, do you have a couple of minutes for feedback? That doesn't send them into a panic because they've already been to this rodeo. And I'm like, so and so took your class and they had all these wonderful things to say about it. So
Yeah.
I think it's just getting people used to the idea of feedback and understanding that it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's continuous and it's consistent, and you're
Yeah.
not only getting it when you've done something wrong or you have
Yeah.
constructive criticism.
Yeah. And I think the fact that I show them the evaluation form and that there's 4 buckets, people realize that they can still get a really good score on a formal evaluation, leaning into their strengths. Like, oh, there's these 4 buckets and I kill it in these 3. This is one that I know I need to work on, but they're like, okay, I still think I'm going to get a pretty good score.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It takes the subjectiveness out of it. It's not like you're just like randomly evaluating them on something. You have specific KPIs that you're
yes,
measuring.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I only have a couple more questions. I feel like I've just been rapid firing at you, so thank
And now I'm good. I love it.
you. One other one was, what's one small change a club operator could make this week that would have a big impact on the strength of their group fitness program?
I guess this is a little hard for me to answer because I don't know where every club is at. But I know one of the things that really helped me, and it was hard at first, is managing the expectation for what good looks like in the studio. Like what numbers you're expecting. You need to be filling at least 50% of the room. Early is on time. So just kind of creating almost like a micro set of what the expectation is, because for some people, it's going to be a wake up call like, oh, wow, that's how many people she expects me to have in the room. Maybe I should start recruiting some friends to come and take my class. For the people who are already hitting those criteria, they're not going to feel really good about themselves. And that energy is going to come into the room as well. I do think where a lot of clubs like fall down is forgetting to tell the instructors this is what matters. Like it's not just show up on time and have a great workout and have a great playlist. Like these are specific points. And so maybe just improving communication overall, like with your staff.
Yeah, I think that's so good. We just kind of went through that where we realized in certain roles they were becoming really focused on like task management versus outcomes. And so
Yes.
we've recently changed how we're communicating with certain positions on, okay, this is how you measure success. And it's not just getting like a X task checked off. Like
Yeah.
these are the metrics that you need to be driving.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, awesome. All right. And then lastly, you've been in the industry for some time. What keeps you passionate and how do you transfer that passion to your team?
I kind of started transitioning in like it. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Just over 10 years ago, into more of like the education lane and mentoring. I keep myself in really good shape. I can teach any class that I want, but teaching in the studios isn't what drives me anymore. It's watching my instructors kill it in the studio. That's what's driving me. So constantly educating, bringing them into the creative process, creating signature formats exclusively for East Bank Club, lecturing, and not just on fitness, but on, I worked in marketing and advertising for a long time. I have an MBA, so I'm that weird bird that kind of like uses both sides of my brain a lot. But getting my instructors to realize that they are a small business unit, like they themselves, and they need to understand how to lean into their strengths and to kind of ignore all the noise, i.e., TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and just really embrace being perfectly imperfect and understanding that when you let people see who you actually are, that's what's going to bring people into your room. And it might take about 6 months to get that message out there, but the whole build it, they will come, that is real. But you have to show up as your authentic self and be brave enough. And I know how scary that is to like to take all the armor off and to just show up as you. But that's the golden ticket right there. Be brave enough to be yourself. And again, that all ties back into the warmth. And so mentoring people on how to do that, how to really understand their passion purpose, like what their why is, and helping them translate that into words in the studio. So really just developing like the next generation of fitness professionals is what I find like super inspiring, whether that's in management or in the studios. But just this industry has been so great to me. And especially as a woman, just being able to develop a little bit thicker skin and confidence and taking up space, unapologetically taking up space. And I've seen it in myself and I've seen it in lots of women. My girl gang is really strong. But like in your 20s, nobody knows who they are in their 20s, and you're running around doing shit that you're probably not proud of. And that's okay. That's exactly what you should be doing in your 20s. In your 30s, you're starting to kind of figure out who you are, but you're not necessarily brave enough to show people or to ask for it. By the time you're in your 40s, especially professionally, you're finally like, nope, this is what I'm worth, and you're going to pay me or I'm not showing up. And you're starting to be better about that in relationships. I think where for a lot of women in particular, that's where you're starting to struggle with like mom identity and professional identity and being a good wife and like wearing all of these hats. By the time you're my age in your 50s, you literally give zero F's about anything. And so I want to get like the 30 somethings closer to that zero F's stage. Like it is okay to take up space, and it is okay. Like you need to spend time meditating with yourself. Like, what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? And I need to start strategizing right now on how to get from point A to point B, and making everybody know that none of us do this by ourselves. I had the greatest mentors that put my career on a trajectory that I could like, it's priceless. Like I couldn't have bought it. I couldn't have paid for it. There's no way. I just got really fortunate. So I want to be able to do that for other people and saying like, hey, buy somebody a cup of coffee, ask for 30 minutes of their time, come with a list of questions, like what you and I are doing right now. Like instructors should be able to do that with the resources in their neighborhood so that they can help plan out their life and to make their dreams a reality. And sometimes you just don't know. You need to talk to somebody about how do I make this happen? Like, this is something that I'm super passionate about, and I can feel it in my bones that this is my purpose. I just don't know how to get it rolling. That's where people like me should be able to step in and say, I got you. Let's talk this through. And so
Yeah.
hopefully, like, that's what I'm doing right now.
Well, I'm feeling super inspired, so I want to be a part of your girl gang now.
You already are. We can do these Zooms anytime you want. And anytime
Oh,
you're in Chicago, babe, like, come
oh
on
my
over.
gosh. I'm going
Yeah.
to for sure. Well,
Yeah.
this is great. You're just the best, Jen. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.